everyone, and welcome to another episode of Leaderable. I'm your host, Ivana Sedia, and today I'm so excited to have someone who I admire because my children take classes, Miss Patti Komara from Patti's All-American Gymnastics, Dance, Ninja, and Swim.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
I appreciate it. It's an honor.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Started 53 years ago. I was a cheerleader in high school, and my mom said, hey, you gotta have money for college, so why don't you go down and teach those kids gymnastics because you're already doing it in the backyard. And so I did, and started with 36 students, and now we have nearly 2,000 students, 1,800 students, and when swim time is well over 2,000. And I have about 48 women that work for me.
Wow.
So that's what
That's wonderful.
That's where the leadership comes in, is when you've got that many women that work together. So yeah, but it's an interesting position, and very fun though, because it's you get to exercise at the same time that you actually can make a living. So yeah.
Yes, I go to take my kids for gymnastics and swimming or ninja. I'm just like astonished the way the whole organization, the behavior organization all works and everything of the business is pretty cool. I do admire you, by the way.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, I also saw that on your email signature, you have another business called Tumble Bear.
Yeah.
What is Tumble Bear?
Okay, in my business we have different areas that we teach, like she said, gymnastics, dance, swim, and everything. But Ivana, what happened was I started lecturing and doing these speeches at national conferences about 1981. And in 1986, a guy came up to me at the end of one of the speeches and said, I loved that. How can I get a copy of that video? And I went, video? So I started putting my lectures on videotape, and I remember when my husband, when we went to buy videotapes, we went to buy it, and he says, do you think you're going to sell all 10 of these that we're buying? And we are well over 20,000. We sell 160 different products and everything to all gymnast schools throughout the country and really the world. We've touched many countries in the world, and so I'm known as a preschool gymnastics expert. So
Wow.
That's what that part is. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that's really interesting.
And we do it all by digital download now, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah, a lot
And
easier,
then
I'm
instead of
sure.
sending videotapes out.
Yes. And then what was it like starting your business as a woman, and what would you have done differently?
It's a great question. First of all, back in 1969 when I started, a lot of people looked at a woman as, what is she doing? And naming it was at that time Patti's Acrobatic Studio. So they think it was aerobatics or something. They thought I was to be hanging from, trapezes or something, But I remember overhearing, we were in a small mall where we first started, and I overheard a man speaking to another man. There were two lawyers in the building, and I heard one of them say, she'll be out of there in 6 months. Well, actually it was a year. I was out of there into a bigger place. So anyway, so I think they tended to back then underestimate you.
Yeah.
And I also think as a woman and as a leader, this is something I think that you need to learn. And when you talk about someone being smart, that just means maybe their IQ, but wisdom comes from making a lot of mistakes. And in 53 years, I've made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot of things on how to do it better. And one of those things is that when you're passionate about something, Ivana, don't apologize for your passion. If you start crying in a meeting, or if you look a little vulnerable, go with that. Go with that, because you say to them, like in a meeting, if you start crying in a meeting, you say, I am crying because I care so much about this, and I have passion for this, and this is why I am where I am. And you go with it, because when you show that, it makes you look powerful. It doesn't make you look weak. It makes you look powerful. It makes you look, you're assertive, not aggressive. And as a woman and as a leader, you have to understand the two differences, because being assertive means that you feel confident in yourself and you can go forward. Aggressive is pushing forward, not caring about people's feelings. So that's quite a bit different. I also think as a woman, it's a little bit easier to show your vulnerability. And if you've read a lot of Brene Brown, she says to show that vulnerability. And I'll give you an example. When you're maybe going through a hard time and you've done something that, maybe you're not that you're not proud of, but maybe you've done something silly or something, sometimes sharing that with your people that are around you, whether it's people that you lead, and everyone's a leader, you're showing that vulnerability, and that makes you look more approachable. And as a leader, because we are talking about leadership, I think it's important to remember that everyone doesn't have to like you, but people need to respect you as a leader. And as a leader, you get your respect from showing every bit of integrity that you're going to ask of your people that follow you. And I even asked that in a job interview. If we were in a job interview, Ivana, right now, I would say, what's your definition of integrity? And we have a lot of young people. And these young people that interview, they kind of get stumbled sometimes. They're like, to tell the truth, or, you know. And my definition that I'm looking for is to do what you're supposed to do all the time. If you say you're going to be here, if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be there on time. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to be prepared, and I'm going to be there. If you say you're going to work on Tuesdays, don't ask off for Tuesdays. That's part of integrity, you know, showing that.
Keep your word.
That's right, and telling the truth at all times. And if one thing I can say about leading a company for 53 years, you get respect by being the type of person you want them to be. And I mean them by the people you work with. And as I said, everyone's a leader. You're a leader of your office. You're a leader of two people when you go out together. There's always someone by respect that's going to take that forefront, and that's the person that's a leader. And so when you show that integrity, and when they see you telling the truth at all times, just like being a parent, you know, you say to your child when they answer the phone, say, "It's the boss," and you say, "Tell them I'm sick," and you have your child lie for you, you can expect your children to lie to you. And in business, it's the same thing. If they see you cheating on your taxes, if they see you lying to your employees, they're going to think nothing about doing that to your company. So integrity is just one of the key things. And there's many things that I've done wrong in 53 years, but there is, you know, when someone says, "Why are you a success?" And I say, number one, you do what's right, you know, and you make sure people see you do what's right. And number two, attention to detail. You know, if I used it, work hard, everybody works hard.
We
you know, we all work hard. You know, but I've
seen
seen a lot of people work hard and lose their business. You know, I really have. And so it's what is it that's going to make you different? And I think part of it is your caring nature, your ability to respond to a person when they're going through something tough and they're vulnerable. That's when you take the position of, "I'm here for you." You know, Servitude Leadership is not just a book. It is very much important, and meaning that Servitude Leadership to me means that when someone is struggling, you don't say, "Listen, we're going to get you help." No, how can I help? How can I help? I'm here for you. What can I do for you? And so when you have these sit downs, like if you're a leader in a company and you have these sit downs or evaluations with your staff, you ask them, "What can I do for you?" And you're there for them, because then they believe in you, and they believe that it's not just them, and they're going to come into this evaluation and find out you did this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. No, here's the leader going, "What can I do for you? How can I help you be better?" And so I think that is the key to it. And just, I mean, who was our greatest, you know, leader? And it was Jesus. And Jesus was a servitude leader. He kissed the disciples' feet. He washed their feet. I mean, so we as a position in a company, you know, have to be that same way. There's a great book also out, Leaders Eat Last. And it was written by a Marine sergeant, or general, not a sergeant, a general who said that in combat, that when your soldiers see you leading them and you serving them, they will die for you. And so that's what you're looking for as a leader, is to get people to believe in you, and they can't believe in you unless they respect you, and they can't respect you unless you have integrity. So kind of goes back to that beginning.
And I imagine that through the years there's been a lot of changes in your kind of business. What have you done to keep your business up with the changes?
Yeah, you know what, that's another good point. You have to do that. Innovation is key to success. So as you find that something's not working, and here's the word from 2020, you have to pivot to do something else, and that was the key. And as a good leader, and everybody who lived through owning a business through the COVID situation, if you didn't have hard work there, boy, I tell you, you lost your business and belief. But you had to pivot, and you had to do. I mean, you had to do so much. It was just so tough. But I think what you do is, you know, you just, and I think that, you know, buck up. It's like, okay, you want to lose your business, or you're going to work hard during this time. And it was, you know, people would say to me, you know, "Well, what'd you do during that time?" "Oh my God, I worked harder by far." Any business owner worked harder during that time than ever before, because you had to adjust. You had to pivot, and you had to know, okay, can we innovate with something different here? If this isn't working, then now is this going to work? What are people's mindset? because changing your mindset and changing your heart posture for what people are thinking at that time is what makes you a success.
But out of everything that we have talked about, this show is called Leaderable, so this is our most important question.
Yeah.
And you kind of already said a little bit, but what makes you leaderable?
That's a great question, because each individual person, you would lead a different way than I would.
Correct.
And it's as easy to lead negatively as it is positively. And I can tell you would lead positively, because you're the type of person
I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, very optimistic lead. And you know, my daughter is a college basketball coach. My husband coached football for 53 years. I've seen a lot of coaching, and coaching is a lot like leadership. And the thing about that is that you can, and we're talking about negatively, I have seen coaches that will cuss and scream and tell boys that they are, you know, terrible words and names and everything, and just demean them. And then I see these coaches who build their kids up, you know, and the greatest coach ever is Coach Wooden, of course, from UCLA, and he's got books and leadership, the whole pyramid of leadership and everything. That, if you are a leader and you have not studied, you know, John Wooden, you need to do that, because he's really the greatest ever as far as that goes. Because, you know, leadership for a team, leadership of a business is the same thing. It's just bringing those people up with you. So, and I've had to pivot in my personal career. And for me, I think if you said personally, what is in your personality that made you a good leader? And I think it is just, I'm very talkative, I'm very friendly, but I'm also very caring. And I think the real leaders are that. You know, when someone's going through a personal issue, maybe their relative has passed away or something in their life, or I don't care if it's one of my teenage helpers that, you know, want to take off for their grandma's 80th birthday. If that's important to that, you know, worker, then you let them do it, because that's what is important to them. And as a super leader, you have to tap into that. So,
and in the end, it's not all about you and your business. You have to also remember it's about other people and their needs too.
Absolutely. And I have a service business, which is different than, of course, a retail business. Retail business, if you're going to sell pants, if you're going to sell tops, and you're going to sell the same line, it's your better price. In a service industry, it's how well that that person that you're hiring can transfer what they know or what they're doing to another person, and so then it's all people. Service is all people. So it's your staff. You know, the old adage of surround yourself and your playpen with good people. You're only as good as the people you hang around with. That's true. So I surround myself with especially the attributes that I don't have. So, you know, hire your weakness to surround you with. So those are very important. I'll tell you what I've done though at the very end here, and that is after about, well, I'm 69, so when people start saying to me at age 60 or so, when are you going to retire? And my joke used to be when my students would come in and say my mom took from you or my dad took from you or something, and then I said, but when they said their grandma took from me, I'm out of here with that. That's been so long that my grandma took from you. So I guess I'm getting to the top. But anyway, what I did was, how I exited, or how I'm exiting in my company is, I took every job description that I have, every duty that I have a long job description. Well, I just cut it in half, and I hired 2 vice presidents, and one is the operations VP and one's the VP of sales. And this person does those jobs, and those people, you know, and then this person does those jobs. And this way I can get out of the day-to-day operation and concentrate on like legal, financial, culture. Those are the things I'm still doing. So.
Wow. When did Patti Gymnastics start?
1969.
Wow.
So 1969.
And is there a leaderable story that you'd like to mention, or anything else that you'd like to mention?
You know, when I think of a leadership story, yeah, this one's not too long ago. It's just a little funny thing happened. Is I'd read that book, Eaters Eat Last, Leaders Eat Last, and we'd had a buffet for our big staff meeting. So we have 48 people at the staff meeting, right? And I'm talking to them, I was like, you guys, come on, we gotta eat, you know, we gotta get back, we gotta do some more things in the morning. Well, they weren't moving, so I got a plate and I started first. And I thought, boy, this is the opposite of Leaders Eat Last. I'm like, I'm going first, come on. So, anyway, but as long as I recognize I should have been last, that's the key.
That is the key. Or you're just really hungry.
Or I'm really hungry, which I usually always am, so.
Yes. Do you have any advice for people or the youth who want to be like you, or who want to go into your field of business?
You know what? Go for it. That's it right there. Go for it. 3 words. I think if you have a passion for something, people say, oh, how can I make money? What should I do for a living? Don't figure out what you want to do for a living. Don't figure out what's going to make money. Figure out as a young person what you love to do, and then do your passion. And that will, if you do it well, then it's not going to work ever. Then you don't ever go to work a day in your life because you get to get paid for your passion. So figure out what your passion is, figure out how you can make money from it, and go forward with that. Don't hesitate to start your own business. Many of the super successful people always will tell you stories of, well, I tried this business that didn't work, and I tried this business, and they kept at it until they made it. So that's the thing about being a leader, or a person who wants to be a leader, is you just go for it and take your passion and find something that's going to work for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Komara, for being here with us today. You are Leaderable. And to our viewers, thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe so you're updated with every episode. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.